Good evening, everyone, and welcome to what will be the actually first rFactor 2 Pro Series draft show. So that's a new element that we bring to our series. If you're not familiar with it yet, don't worry. We'll walk you through everything tonight and what's happening here and what's happening in the series. It is right in front of Season 3, so the first two already done. That was in 2020. Now, new year, new elements, new things to discover. Some things will stay the same in the rFactor 2 GT series powered by Traction. That is that we still have the GT Challenge series, which is the feeder series, and the Pro series for the top 30 GT3 drivers. There's a small bump in price pool. I can say that already before we head on to the draft. So I'm sure that everyone this series and this season will be on their heels to make sure that they score big points and get their money in and get their names out there. Tonight is all about them picking their cars. What was kind of silent process last season where people just picked in front of the season with not anyone noticing. This time it will be done live, and it will be done in a pretty simple way. Each driver has 2 minutes. There will be a countdown on top, and that gives them time to choose a car, and they do it one by one in the reversed order from this season championship. So we will see champion Erniowski picking last today. That will be quite an exciting thing. But besides them picking cars, they could just go for whatever, right? They can't really, because this time, for every pick after the first one, we actually add kilograms on the car up to a maximum of 40 kilograms, which means it is all about deciding live during this broadcast. Do you want to go with your favorite car? Do you have a second, a third pick, a fourth pick, something that works for you, and make sure that you actually have a car that is, good for you in this season, in the upcoming 6 races in our Season 3 of the GT Pro Series. These are the cars that everyone can choose from. It's the entire GT3 lineup, that's what I want to say, that we have. So we got BMW M6, we got the Bentleys in, we got Ferrari 488 GT3, 2 McLarens, the Mercedes AMG, a Porsche Radical GT3, Aston Martin, whatever you like, it is there and you can pick it. But won't be that easy, I'll tell you that, because we're expecting a lot of surprises tonight. This is, once again, the final result of last season. So you see Erniowski, obviously champion once again, back-to-back. And a really impressive performance he put on. And then it goes down to Driller Seat Sports Antonovsky, who will be new into this and picking first, because we just rotate this all around. Obviously, you don't have to listen to my voice only, because that will be kind of lame. And I need a lot of knowledge in this, because this is all about predicting picks, figuring out what everyone is going for, and discussing the upcoming season. And for that, I brought the entire team this time with Lewis McGlade, Aidan Millward, and Lee Smith. Guys, I hope you're ready for what will be, a new first.
Going to be mad. I am so excited for the new season. We've got so much coming up. Of course, we've had 2 great seasons before this, but what the future could hold is, I think we're in for a good one.
Sorry. Sorry, Aidan. I was waiting for you. But I was looking at the time in the top corner, and I was thinking, we haven't got long. These guys, I think it's going to be Antonovsky first, has got ready to go, and it's going to be great, Aidan.
Yeah, I think Antonovsky's probably already licking his lips at what he can pick first, and sort of throw other people off the scent because of that extra 10 kilos of weight that'll be added. But 13 cars to pick from, so I'm hoping that some of these guys will be thinking, well, that's my first choice, but if it gets to maybe 20 key of weight, maybe even just the 10, I'll just go with the second choice. So we'll probably get a decent selection of cars on the grid. The memes were going around about it being the Corvette Cup and things like that last season, but hopefully this year we'll get a few McLarens in the mix and some of the older cars that got totally ignored last time round.
Yeah, we should definitely see more variety on the grid, but the countdown that Lee already mentioned is not just important for the driver, it's also important for you guys out there in Twitch chat, because we're actually giving away rFactor 2 DLCs, or the base game if you don't have the DLCs, or if you don't have the base game yet and you need the DLCs, and we will do that on every 5th pick and the first. So 1st, 5th, 10th, 15th, you get the thing, right? And during this countdown, you can actually let us know in Twitch chat what's your pick for this driver. And if you're right, then you're actually getting on that random list, and then I'll see it popping up on my screen at one point, and I will let you know if you actually ended up with getting a DLC, you will be contacted right on Twitch, and they can let us know what you want. So there's something for everyone in this, and free stuff is always good. I heard people like that. I hear that a lot in Discord. That should work for everyone. This is the list, and the first pick, we talked about that, is Drillers Esports, Timothy Andonovsky. Let us know your prediction, but let's talk a bit about predictions. I mean, this is really hard because everything is still available. Everything is without kilograms. I don't know. Lewis, give us a start. What do you think?
Well, he went in the Callaway last season, and it worked out quite well for him. Got him right up there in the sort of chase to get in. Obviously, went through the relegation and was fairly strong in that. Is he going to go for the Callaway again? Obviously, you've got all of the setups and stuff to fall back on from last season to just assist you with this one. For me, I think he will probably go for a Callaway, but I mean, like you say, it's wide open. You can literally pick anything at the moment, and it's fine.
I'm expecting a few Ferraris to be picked this time around, considering how good they were in the longer races last time. You know, people saying it's not that good, but we saw how quick it was. So, yeah, maybe a few extra Ferraris in this one, maybe a few extra BMWs, or even a couple of the ones that got loads of weight taken off them, like the Audi that had 20 kilos of weight removed in the last BOP.
Yeah, and you could also be looking at obviously what races we've got in this season. The drivers already know what they got. Maybe looking at a car that performs better on maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 of the tracks, and maybe trying to go for that gamble. But let's face it, he has got the best choice that Yuyovsky would be dreaming of having later on today. Obviously, he's going to pick from probably 40 kilogram plus cars. But Andonovsky, he can pick whatever he wants.
That's true. I think it's great to have that freedom, but it also makes it kind of hard, right? Because you want to make the right pick. What if it doesn't really turn out for you well like during the season, which would be devastating? And the other thing is, when we talk about second picks, third picks, fourth pick, whatever strategy they bring to this, do you think people will always try to stick to the same layout? Like if we see someone having Callaway as first pick, and then Callaway's already on 30 kilograms, would you stick with front engine cars, rear wheel drive, or would you even consider midship?
I think there's a bit of like with coming into this knowing that you may be on a car that's 40 kilos heavier than another car. Like they've all done their research on what cars are better with weight, because obviously cars take their weight slightly differently as well, so that will play its fair part in this as well. I would not want to be picking a car because it sounds absolutely frantic for them, but I kind of get your point. Why would you move to something else front engined? I'm not too sure. I'd almost want to hit the reset button and try something a bit drastic at that point.
We'll see. We got the last 16 seconds before we get the reveal. There's no reveal for us. We see it live as you guys do. So it's not like we know already what he will pick, what server. There will be a cool video and a cool stinger letting us know what Timothy Andonovsky is going for Drillers Esports in the first ever pick for the rFactor 2 GT Pro Series. Here it is.
Ooh.
That's an Audi. All right, that's a pick that we saw in season 1. Michi Hoyer, I think, was actually racing with that in GT Challenge.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he won it.
Champion. Interesting that it was the 2018 Audi, not the 2019 one, because we do have both the R8s.
Yeah.
Interesting it was the older one.
Maybe he knows something we don't.
I mean, I just think he knows a lot that we don't.
It's like great to have an expert panel and everyone be like,
why did he do that?
Wow.
Maybe he just likes the shape. I mean, it's a solid start. I like the Audi. I think it's a good looking GT3 car. That's it. We know that it kind of struggles with the rear tires. In terms of one lap pace, it should be there. So maybe drivers are actually aiming for quali pace, sprint race, you know, like if you're used to GT Pro Series, obviously 15-minute sprint race, 45-minute main race. Maybe it's about that. Maybe he's thinking, oh, sprint is more where I can shine.
I think as well, the R8 is one of only 2 cars that's won both races on a single race within, obviously, split one of GT Challenge and then GT Pro, because Michi Hoyer won both races at Sebring in season 1, and that was in the Audi R8 in that 2018 variant as well. And then Erhan Yuyovsky won both races at Portland. So maybe there's something like that, maybe seeing like this past results. And also with there being so many cars in the GT series, you've got so many choices. You can't practice in all of them. So maybe you just got to go with your gut feeling and just go, that one.
And that was the car that infamously ate its rear tyres for breakfast. So maybe with this new BOP, the physics updates and things like that have happened in the last sort of couple of weeks. He's managed to get that all under control, and maybe it's good enough for 45 minutes as opposed to the full hour stints that they'd be running in any other GT3 series.
I'm still wondering, like, we saw that Michi Hoyle was really successful with the Audi in Season 1. Obviously, things changed. There were physics updates, there were BOP updates and all that. But it's still a car that kind of has heritage already in the GT series. So maybe it's just about that, taking a car that someone else proven to be fast.
Yeah, I think
we
he's
used to see
confident.
it's what we used to see in Simic as well, and obviously he's way down the list, so he's not going to get a choice. There's a lot of potential Audi drivers out there that are going to be looking at it thinking, really, you took that first of all the choices? So they're probably going to be annoyed about it. But we've got a minute, Renee. Zancho's first pick. Where's he going to be, Aiden? Where's he going to be?
We don't know. Lewis and I don't know. We've got literally no idea what the Zancho drivers are taking. I was talking to Jan van der Heide earlier today, and he was saying it was going to be very interesting to see what other people have picked, but he didn't let anything slip to us.
I think
That's what they say now. Who knows? But by the way,
right.
we've got our first winner for the DLC or base game, whatever you choose, and that is GC64 Sim Racing. So make sure that you check your whisper messages on Twitch. There should be 2, so I guess there will be another one coming because we give away 2 DLCs, base games, whatever you choose. Every single time we do this. So, second pick, which will be Turka Hakkinen, another newcomer to the GT Pro series.
Ooh.
And it's another Audi.
Wow.
Not expecting that.
It's the 2019 one, though.
No weight, that's why.
Did we not get the memo regarding Audi is the new car to go
What
for?
did you do to it?
So that's got to be a BOP change that obviously all the drivers have seen and said that is the car this season.
Yeah, I think for the likes of like Erhan, they're probably not panicking so much at the moment for those lower down the list, because it's, you've got a few choices in your mind what you'd go for. You're not coming into this with one choice. You're not coming into it with like, oh, I'm going to pick the Callaway and that is it. You're coming to it with like, oh, I'm going to pick like maybe this, maybe this, maybe this, maybe this, and depends on when we get to that point. And obviously, some drivers and teams have other setups to fall back on from various other experiences in the car. I actually thought that Turka Hakkinen was going to go with the 720 because they've raced that fairly recently a couple of times in the Sim Racing Club GT3 Endurance Series. I thought maybe he was going to go that way, or maybe even back to the Callaway of last season, but obviously taking a fresh choice in the Audi, a little bit of assistance from some of his team. I'm curious to see how he gets along in that, and I'm wondering how many other Audis we're going to get.
Well, the next one for Audi will add another 10 kilos of weight on, so everyone's probably like their brains are probably just going into overdrive right now, trying to work out like, no, I wanted that one now. What am I going to pick now? I don't want any weight.
We should probably mention that everyone sees that on the right, so it says next Audi pick will get those 10 kilograms, no matter if it's 2018, 2019. So you can all follow what all of the drivers going through because they see the same list. They know who's picking after them. They obviously see the light picks here, and they know what a pick means to them in terms of kilograms. It will be very interesting if someone is really reacting to it or if everyone is just going with their game plan. And another thing, what about teams? Do you think people will try to pick the same car to make it easy in terms of setting it up for the race day?
Well, that's just it, right? You're going to be looking at it and maybe trying to pick away the ones that don't have the weight, but then you're going to be thinking, well, it's only 10 kilograms. How much is that going to make really? Obviously, once it starts to get to 30, 40 kilograms, it's going to be a big difference, but we may see, maybe if people realize that they really like the Audis, we may see a couple more of them go out early doors, and then obviously that kind of costs people later on. Also, I'm just wondering if we're going to have teammates going for the same cars just to keep the same setups. So, everybody likes to share the setups.
Well, if you get like Michi Hoyer, Alex Siebel, Dennis Jordan, Yanis Simic, who will all likely be working together, if they all take the Audi, or whatever car they take, say they take a car with no weight, then Michi has no weight, Alex has 10 kilos, Dennis has 20 kilos, Yanni has 30 kilos. They're all running with different weight in the car, which then provides some issues setup-wise. Casper Stolzer up next, obviously Ferrari last season, finished 10th in GT Challenge, and also was involved in an incident late in the season with Mikael Smidl that cost Smidl the championship, gave it to his teammate Jordi Sveers. It's not controversial, don't worry. What's he going for? I don't think it's Ferrari.
Well, chat's saying he will go for Ferrari.
Oh, well, maybe
I think he will as well.
will be a radical pick now. Or
Yeah.
Bentley. Wait for it. Casper Stolzer, John Alesi
Sean
Esports.
Alays, it's got to be.
Callaway.
Callaway.
Not a Ferrari, guys. There we go. First
Wow.
big surprise. Or let's say second. We had 2 Audis already be.
Yeah.
Callaway Corvette instead of the 488.
We all thought this was probably going to be the first pick, right? This is what we were expecting. Obviously, it was so successful and so popular throughout season 2, but it's not too surprising to see it come out. But as you say, a Ferrari driver switching over to a Callaway.
But then his teammate, GT Challenge champion Yildiz Virs, who's 4 picks later, is he going to go with the Callaway as well? His Callaway, if he does pick that, is going to have 10 extra kilos, potentially more. That's the big question here.
I really wonder if, like, how we all agree that in the beginning we will have a car with 40 kilograms, probably, because
Yeah.
basically 4 picks, right? But how early do we see that? Because I think that can kind of decide, like, the late game that we will see in this draft, right? Because if many of the favorite cars are already on 40 kilograms, then you might need to look up your sleeve and actually find a pick that you didn't have on your list before, but you're thinking, like, you know what? I could make it work this season. So, yeah, I wonder when we get that status.
Well, I can tell you what. Kevin Siggy's driving a 40-kilogram BMW this season.
Yeah.
I am pretty certain.
I mean, I love that Casper Stolzer wrote in Twitch chat, I wanted a Ferrari until I saw all of you guessing. So maybe the strategy is all about the Twitch chat. Like, people say something and drivers will be just like, oh, I do that or I don't do that. Who knows? Could be a new strategy.
I think there's a lot of it that has to be like self-belief. You know, you need to be like, I'm going with the car that I believe is best, and literally shut everything out. And that can be quite difficult when you've got all the pressure of a season, a fairly long season ahead. You know, 6 rounds, fair enough. But you know, it's not too long. But you've got that, you've got the pressure, you've got the prize money, all of it's on your shoulders, and it can change drastically dependent on which car you pick in the next, minute, in the next 60 seconds. Rebream can't at the moment. Like I say, you're hovering over it, thinking, this had better be right.
I mean, it's the first Sancho pick. That will be an interesting one because obviously you guys, like Lewis and Aidan, you connected to that. So let's see facial expressions. But we should have the video. Maybe we should have you guys in a big shot and see if you're happy with what they're doing or not.
No.
Should we get some reactions for the thumbnails?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I don't know. Okay, right. So, from a serious point of view, obviously, me and Aidan both being part of Sancho, I have absolutely no idea what car they are going in.
Not at all.
A clue. I kind of wonder if it's going to be a Callaway again. I don't know.
He could take the Ferrari.
He could take the Ferrari. He could take the Ferrari. That's a very good point.
Chat's got a favourite on Bentley right now for some reason. They reckon that's going to be the one.
Which one? The 20,
I think we see Ferrari before we see Bentley.
No, the 2020. A lot of saying.
I think the Bentley will be a late pick by someone who's like, I've got to go for this.
All right, here it is.
There it
Ibrahim
is.
Khan for
Told
Sancho.
Right, where's the DLC?
It will be a Ferrari before we go Bentley. Must be. Because, let's be real, the Ferrari was in Season 2 where we had tons of Callaway Corvettes, and it still was kind of good in the grid on both championships, in both Challenge and Pro. So I think that's a very solid pick, especially since it's still on 0 kilograms, so you can't do much wrong with it, I would say.
I wonder if he's seen Casper not take it and gone, right, I'll have that.
Well, I mean, I think it was the Ferrari that he was doing laps in earlier. The thing is, I know with Sancho and stuff is there's no sort of like requirement for them to both take the same car. So Jan will still be free to pick which he wants. Because if you remember back to the first season, we had quite a few drivers in some 720s or some in 650s. Was there someone else? I think JJ had something different to even that. Maybe he had the Callaway or something in the first season. They all picked slightly different cars. So there's a bit of freedom so they're not too fussed about it too much. The next pick coming up, though, I think is a little bit more screwed on. There's Alan Terzic, of course, ex-John Lacey Esports Academy driver, was partnered up with Casper Stolzer and Yildiz Virs last season in GT Challenge. Won 2 races, including the final race at Spa, as well as a feature race at Portland, and had some incredible speed when they were in that Ferrari and felt the Ferrari was quite a bit slower. Now he's joined BS Competition, though, with Mohammed Patel, who I think will be doing GT Challenge or something in that aspect. Is he going to stick with BMW?
by the way, before we actually go into that, chat, remember, you guys can predict now because it's the 5th pick, which means we will give away another DLC or rFactor 2 copy. So make sure to get your predictions in Twitch chat. Let us know if you think he will actually pick Turzik. We heard already. Lewis thinks it's pretty clear, but what about you, Lee?
I have no idea. I'm with the way that I wasn't expecting the 2 Audis to begin with, so it's actually thrown me. Obviously, you've got the Porsches in there. You know, at a certain POPEV coming down the line will be a bit aggrieved. And as you mentioned, with the Ferrari coming out, maybe he looked at Stoltz and maybe was like, oh, it's available. That was my C pick or something like that. And suddenly they're going to pull that one out. Maybe Tursis is going to be looking at the BMWs, maybe the McLarens. Season 1, we're back to Season 1. The McLarens could come storming back out again.
Yeah, the chat's pointing in the direction of either the 720 or the M6. So, yeah, I think it's going to be one of those as well. It wouldn't be a Porsche.
I have to say, I kind of get the idea of saying, oh, Kasper Stolzer didn't pick the Ferrari, is still open. But I wonder if we get this situation where it's like in the NFL draft, where you wonder, why did someone not pick that car? It's
Right.
Like, if it was your favorite pick, but no one else picked it so far, like in mid-draft, basically, you wonder, is that a good idea? Do they know something I don't know? Because I think that's important.
Yeah, no, I am 100% with you. I'd be... If you get like 5 or 6 in and someone still hasn't picked your car, you're literally sat there being like, is there something that I don't know? Like, why have 2 people instantly picked an Audi? What don't I know about that Audi? Well, about to find out.
Don't rule out the Aston Martin either.
So Alan Turzik gets his pick for BS competition. It is our first BMW M6 GT3. So I would say it won't definitely be the last for tonight, that's for sure. But at least it's the first for now.
Yeah, fresh to join the BS competition team towards the start of this year. Actually departed John Lacey Esports Academy just before the end of last season and finished off the season with them before heading over to BS competition. Has actually settled quite nicely in the team of Florian Hasper, and they're quite, obviously tightly linked with BMW. So I think that was pretty much a nailed-on conclusion. But there was still, a bit open that maybe he would have picked something else. I think for the other BMW-related teams and the consideration that they're called BMW Team something, it's pretty much sorted that you're quite rightly, Kevin is looking forward to 40 kilos in that BMW Team Redline.
It's basically right after Christmas for him. Like everyone went to the dinner, and now he ends up with 40 kilograms right after. We'll see how that works for Luca D'Amelio for HM Engineering. I want to give a guess, but I really want to see, since we had 2 Audis, but that are 2 different cars. How about now going to Bentleys, with Jordy Spears also picking the Bentley, but the other year?
I don't know what Luca's going to do. He was a massive driver last season in GT Challenge. Was really, really impressive. Very consistent on the podium constantly. Battled for victory with Alan Terzic at Portland and was very close to it. Finished on the second quite a few times as well from memory. Obviously, a bit of a change. Moved out of Zansho now to HME. Is a bit more of a free agent. He's HME in this. He races for Rookie Monsters as well, so he's a bit free between teams and stuff. But what that means is he's kind of got an understanding of where quite a lot of other people are going elsewhere, and that may sort of inform his opinion if there is something a little bit like maybe we don't know that the Mercedes is the best car somehow. He's probably in a decent spot to kind of understand that, especially as one of the Rookie Monsters drivers last season did drive a Merc in a different split.
Actually got Alan Turzik's name once again, just
to
make sure people know he's out there. I like that. Shout out to Alan Turzik for picking BMW. All right, we actually got 2 new winners from pick number 5, which will be esports_sim racing and Caleb John. So make sure that you check your whispers and get your rewards for watching. That's nice, right? You watch something that you love anyway, rFactor 2, and you also get some content with it. I think that's fine, but we got 30 seconds for our next pick. So although there might not be a DLC on the line for this one, chat, let us know your opinion on what to go for. I saw Remco already raging, basically, that no one picked the Bentley so far because he was fairly quick in it. But we could also see our first Porsche. Who knows?
That'll mess up your driver, won't it, Renee?
I don't want to talk about Porsche, okay? I don't want to talk about the pick. I will just see. I will get surprised probably. But let's see. Next pick in the line, Luca D'Amelio, HM Engineering, and they go for the McLaren.
There we
Oh,
go.
650.
All right. 650, yeah, the old one.
Oh, was that the car that Luca drove in season 1? I think he took a victory in GT Challenge in that.
Ooh.
They have
but
been
wasn't it
two
him and Cedo
650s.
that drove it?
Cedo did drive the 650. I think Luca may have been driving the 720. Either way, has driven the McLaren before.
Yeah.
Right, and I'm pretty sure he was victorious in that first season, maybe in a wet race at Imola. I think that might have been Luca's one. So a little bit of experience, at least in that brand anyway.
It's interesting that he goes for the older one first, I think, rather than the new one. We said we had an older McLaren in season 1, and it was fairly successful. So it's basically like the Audi, a car that was there, that showed a bit of pace, and that it can keep up with everyone else. So maybe it was just that. Like, do you think it might be a pick? Just hope they're just going for another car that's zero because he didn't like any of the other. I mean, there's still Mercedes. You could go Porsche, obviously, Radical, both Bentleys.
I think that's part of it. Some of these drivers, I think I want to avoid as much weight as possible. Just hope that the weight slows everybody else down. If they get one that's got no weight on it at all, they've got a sort of an easier run, as it were. But still, fast is fast, regardless of how much weight's been carried.
I'm just wondering at what point. Obviously, we're gonna whittle through, and as you say, we're probably gonna get the 720 out, maybe, or the Porsche come out next, or. Even though it's Jean Alesi Sports, I don't expect him to go for the same car as his teammate, as Casper has. So I don't expect to see another Ferrari coming out here. We're gonna. At what point? At what point does someone choose to go for the extra 10 kilos? Like, do they get onto the Radical, or do they like, nope, I'm going for something else?
Well, based on last season and speaking to quite a few of the drivers, I think we all were on some end of this. Is that there's a point where it comes with your the weight that you're taking is in whatever car. So, for example, the Callaway of last season, I think most drivers would take a Callaway with 10 kilos over most of the other cars, because a Callaway with 10 kilos last season, not this season, was still faster than, say, for example, a Bentley or a Mercedes or something like that. So it's weighing up that decision. And this is why understanding what each car is like on slightly higher weight, because there are some cars that do just genuinely take weight an awful lot better.
Definitely are different ways for the cars to handle that, and we saw that during different BOPs and also other rFactor 2 series, right? That run different BOPs in their own series that can show that there are ways of actually making this work. But the question now is, do we actually see that as a team pick? Like, is he now going for the Callaway Corvette because his teammate has one already that kind of fits? So you can use the same setups and all that. You don't have to put another, same test session in to build it. Would make sense to me, at least.
I think Callaway. I'm just saying it now. 10 seconds to go. Anyone else? Help.
Radical.
Maybe the first Aston.
720.
Here we go.
Shorty Swiss. Or Jean Lee.
Oh,
The
2020.
There we
Chat
go.
got it right. Chat got it right.
Wow, there we go. Interesting. He was at Singularity when Dennis Lind was driving the Bentley in season 1, wasn't he?
Yeah.
There you go.
And he had a good race in Imola with a Bentley.
Yeah,
He did.
Which is in the calendar for this season as well. And there was another one where the Bentley was actually not bad at all.
Turka Hakkinen had one in Challenge.
Yeah.
It's interesting now because we wanted to do the draft because it adds a bit more dynamic, right, to choosing cars and all that. It's pretty cool because I can see messages popping up on Discord now from my drivers, obviously, like, oh, there's no Bentley so far. And it's like, oh, there we go.
Too late.
Bentley being picked. It's like, all right. That's cool. I mean, I like that the teams are now probably all sitting together, discussing their options, trying to figure out, because it adds more to the championship than just doing races and nothing else. I like that.
Is that a first for your team?
No, we
all
will be
sit together.
Oh, we will be the next DLC giveaway. That will be interesting.
Well,
Because-
No,
guys, you're getting a
no
Porsche.
spoilers then. No spoilers then. I think so. I will say one thing about this draft at the moment. For better or worse, obviously, some people it's been a little bit controversial from some from others, whatever. It is doing exactly what it was designed to do, in the sense of we are 7 cars in, and we haven't got a car with 10 kilos yet. So we're there. And also for the next one, being Team Fordzilla, I think we're going to see another 0 kilo car, because we were discussing this prior to this. In other championships they've run, I reckon this might be a radical.
Yeah, because Cammy Sturge is driving it in E-Team Brit at the minute. She got a class win in it, though. So it's good enough for a 1 hour race. So surely for 45 minutes or even 50 minutes, it should be okay there as well.
And it's an absolute good-looking car with a livery, let's be honest. It's about looking good on camera, right?
Right.
On broadcasts.
Right, I'd want to pick a car that looks good. They've already got a livery on it, so they don't have to do that. It's a bit more. It looks a lot more like a prototype.
It does look like a B3, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if they do
LED
take a
grid.
radical, I'm glad to see it on the grid at least, especially with that livery. But Nuno Pinto's quite quick, so if it is a radical, I'm sure fast enough to wrestle the best out of it.
Would it be the first time that we see a radical in Pro or Split 1?
Yes.
I think so, right?
Yeah, I think
we
so,
never had
yeah.
one in Pro.
No, we've never had one in Split 1.
It was
either.
used in the Hot Lap qualifiers for Season 2.
Yeah, but it was radical
But
only there.
that's it. Yeah.
It's interesting because I thought in Season 1 and 2, we saw a lot of this, like Season 1, we saw the effect of whoever was first in Hot Lap competition, people tend to pick that car because they believe in, oh, that guy is quick on it, car must be quick, right? And which is why we tried to change that system in the Pro Series. And I wonder if there will be something like this now, where someone chooses a car because one of the drivers he really believes in has chosen that car. So we'll see. But here's the next pick for Nuno Pinto, team of Fordzilla. Let's see.
Go on.
Oh,
it's
breaking
the
it
old
up.
Bentley.
There we go. Hank can still take the radical.
Yeah. The radical is still open. Did not fancy taking a big gamble on that. Curious.
See,
It's
that's
the old
interesting.
Bentley as well.
Yeah, it's interesting that obviously he's not going with, which you're obviously alleviating to, is the sponsor push of basically going towards that, which we fully expect a lot of the BMW drivers to be doing earlier. But this is the one we were discussing before we even came on live, whether the radical would go for Fordzilla. But no, the Bentley, and again, still a 0 kilogram. And that gives the Porsche for Pev next.
It is the next DLC giveaway. So make sure to put your prediction in the chat. What Pev for Pal Motorsport will actually choose. I mean, I could tell you now the discussions I saw, and I know that they were thinking about, like, I'll give a bit of background. They think that speaking of Shara, is quicker on a front engine car, and then the question was, should they all go front engine to have only one setup, or could they still use the Porsche from last season together? But then Shara is really, really quick in other series, but it seems to struggle with a Porsche. So I'm not quite sure yet. I still think Porsche is a big chance, especially since it's on 0 kilograms. But I wouldn't be surprised if, I would even say an Aston Martin is in the books here.
They did struggle in the Porsches a little bit, obviously in an immensely strong field in GT Pro last season. That might put them off. When it came to the relegation race, obviously Pev absolutely stormed it and won that by a country mile to get back into GT Pro. And Shara was sort of, very comfortably in as well anyway. So whether they'll risk taking the Porsche again after last season, that's what remains to be seen. And you're absolutely right. Are they both going to pick the same car? Because so far, with some of the teams that we've had and some of the predictions that we've seen, it's gone counter to that. So I don't know.
And they're right after each other. That's the first time that we see a team picking right after each other.
Watch as he picks the Aston now.
Or the radical.
It's still 0 kilos.
I love
picks the
the
radical, he's sacked.
Porsche. I love the Porsche, and there's a livery ready for it, which is good, right? Having a livery ready is always good. But it is. Oh,
Was that a spoiler
Was that a
alert?
spoiler alert?
oh,
I think-
spoilery.
Think there might have been a bit of a mispress there from broadcast director.
No, it's not
Oh,
Nuno
no.
Pinto. It is Payo Path picking. It will be.
be
If that
Porsche.
is correct here, it will be the Porsche
Yeah.
911 GT3 R. Now we got a problem. He didn't got his moment with the cool name and all that. Oh dear, I think we need to redo that.
Still no.
Oh,
I want to see our team logo on this. Why?
I will give some credit to our broadcast director today, as has been throughout GT Pro and GT Challenge, is the setup that we currently have has a lot of buttons and it's very easy to mispress.
Yeah.
And from our point of view, not that we're going to do anything, it's very easy to break.
Yeah.
Just stop streaming the webcam and that's it. It's done.
Maybe it gives the Porsche to Nuno Pinto now and Payopuff gets another choice.
So, okay. That aside, do we think Shara's now going to go for the 720S? Because it's the 0 kilo. Is he really going to go for another Porsche? Would your driver do that? Would he try to do that, Rene?
Yeah.
Sacrifice 10 kilos?
For 0 kilograms, I think there's a chance. He's unlikely to take Porsche unless they really, really want to do it as a unit. And if he's okay with 10 kilograms, he would rather pick a front engine car, I think, over the Porsche. If it's about his performance only, because Shara is a really quick driver on a front engine car, but so far he never had that one.
I don't know what he's going to pick.
I'm afraid. By now, I'm afraid.
But this,
can we
this
trade picks?
complicated.
The Merc?
Can we trade picks?
Yeah, like in NFL and NHL where they trade picks.
Oh, I see.
We need that for next season.
Yeah,
where they can
yeah.
be like,
absolutely.
I'll trade pole position in race 1 against.
Well, yeah, pit lane start for a 0 kilo.
Yeah, something like that. That
Right.
could be interesting.
Right. Well, I mean, season 4. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? It's on the horizon, I'm sure. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Season 3 at the moment, though. I'm gonna go. He's going 10 kilos, going Porsche. That's what I'm going with. Don't know about you guys. That's where I'm feeling it.
This is the DLC car, right, as well?
Well, they're all DLC cars in that.
No, as in
No,
like the
for the
10th
chat.
pick.
Ah, true. I was really confused.
Lee just
I'm
wants some
hosting
free
overall, but
Formula E cars. That's what he wants.
Yeah, and the new
Yeah,
Formula E
yeah.
track, isn't it?
there are tracks out
Yeah.
there somewhere coming to rFactor 2 soon. Yeah.
I think it was announced in the roadmap, wasn't it? That
I like that the chat is saying Aston. I think Aston is a real.
That's a
real
good shout,
chance
actually.
Yeah, Aston Martin, 0 kilograms. No one picked it so far. It was a solid
It's a
car
good
when it
car.
came out. Like, there were a lot of series where the Aston Martin was the car to pick.
Mhm.
So why not here?
Well, we
Absolutely.
used it in the VLMC when that was running.
How did that go for you when you drove it?
I lasted
No, sorry, I shouldn't-
200 yards, I think
I
it was.
I mean, I only got a 7th, I think, at Interlagos. Don't remember, but yeah, it's quite a comfortable car. It's maybe not the fastest, but it is comfortable.
It's very stable, yeah.
Yeah, let's find out.
There you go. Speaking of Shara, Football Power Motorsport picking.
Oh, big drum
Oh.
roll!
Tease.
Big drum roll!
We get it again. It's fine. It's our first round. It is the
Totally.
Bentley,
Oh.
the new one. So he went for
10
10 kilograms.
Went for 10 kilos anyway.
But then the real
Interesting.
question is, does really no one want to pick the Aston Martin and Mercedes when they want to go front engine, that people now prefer 10 kilograms over a car that's still on 0?
I don't know. A 10 kilo Bentley like that. Ooh. Like I was going to say, either you would have taken 10 kilos and gone with your teammate, or taken something with 0 kilos, surely. But taking 10 kilos with a Bentley, maybe that Bentley is quite good. Ooh.
But
Well,
what-
evidently
wait.
we know nothing.
What's like? What happens if we go to 40 kilograms on the Bentley? It was the Boatley before. How do we name it then?
Yeah,
The aircraft carrier.
it would be quite understeery. Let's go with that.
The canal boat.
The canal boat, oh dear.
If they put 40 kilos on, say for example, this is the thing with like those, because obviously we speak of the kilos being, say for example, like we kind of know that Siggy's going to take 40 kilos with the BMW eventually. Do you not? Because obviously we think of that like more from like lap to lap, like it's going to be slightly slower on this lap, slightly slower on that lap. But obviously with the more weight, it's going to be slower quite a bit over a race distance, because it's going to wear the tires out a lot more because of the weight, the scrub and stuff. So like it's double trouble, and that's where like taking a car with 0 kilos over a race distance is going to come in so helpful.
And it's going to be an absolute nightmare at places like Spa, trying to accelerate up towards Lake Como and places like that.
Yeah.
It's going to get absolutely annihilated there.
We'll see.
What would you pick, Rene, if you were driving?
What and for the slot of Shara?
No. If you were driving in GT Pro starting this season, say for example you were like, say you were the first pick. Say you were wide open, you could pick
You're
whatever
saying
you
just
wanted.
about scraped in, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Probably
What if you were
probably
the
the
last pick?
720S.
720S. Interesting. Interesting. I
like the characteristics.
I'd probably go with the Aston.
Yeah, I would have taken the Aston as well.
Slightly comfortable. Like I say, it's predictable.
Dennis Lind said safety car. That's a good.
Some
pick,
of the
actually.
drivers are not agreeing with you on the.
What? Because you'd cause one, or?
I mean, if I ever get the safety car spot in GT Pro, that would at least give me more lead laps than probably some other drivers.
Oh, yeah, Cameron
Okay.
Roger had that in Indy Pro. He led loads of laps. It's the joy of being a safety car driver. I don't know I wonder if we're going to see Dennis Lind back in GT Challenge. We need to get him up towards GT Pro again. Obviously, he was in the first season, so make sure he's competitive again. Obviously, team manager of Cetres Velux.
He develops Bentley. That'd look pretty sweet.
And they only have one driver, so they could
Yeah.
need some backup in the GT Pro series if Dennis actually makes it once again.
Yeah, come on, Dennis, step it up. Stop team managing. Bless him, he's managing 2 teams. He's a busy man.
All right, next
That's
pick.
how you roll. Okay,
Kevin
Rotting, AAA Esports down to also one driver, and it is the
720.
720S. Yeah, it's another 0 kilogram pick. So
Not too
we're
surprising.
running out of
I guess. Yeah, I mean that's it, right? We're down to what, 2 left now. We've obviously got the Aston out there, and the I just not too surprising. Let's face it. Like now, I think I'm more surprised to see a 10 kilogram pick now already out. Obviously, Mercedes. Judging by what a lot of the pro drivers, they're not agreeing with that car and the Aston after the BOP, so not too surprising that they're out there. And of course, we know the Radical is going to be a bit of an out there pick.
Well, there's only 3 cars left with 0 kilos, and that's the Aston, the Radical, and the Merc. So I think probably the Mercedes. I don't know.
I think Mercedes really depends on, because there are a lot of people saying they don't like the Mercedes at all, and then there are people with very specific equipment saying the Mercedes is great. So, question is, does Wojciech Bolesny have exactly that equipment and say, oh, you know what? Thank you. I'll go for the AMG because it's still 0 kilograms.
I think it's really predictable. I think that's what it is. Like it's a car that's sort of it's not too slippery, it's not too oversteery. It doesn't try and kill you, but it might just be a little bit too much like the Titanic running around the circuit. You know, the front end just might it might be a bit more lethargic than other cars. It was in Server 2 in the hands of Team Rookie Monsters. So it's been sort of towards the top end, I guess, of GT Challenge, but it never got through into Split 1. It's not a car that we particularly see that often. I'd like to see more of it. I don't know if anyone's going to be brave enough to take it. Obviously, we're holding off the Radical until Erhan gets here because he has to. It's now officially its law. Plessy, though, took the Ferrari last year. Ferrari 10 kilos. Callaway 10 kilos. Obviously, Mikael Smedel was so strong in GT Challenge. Bit of setups there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just wait for Erhan really going, like, in his mind having the Radical lock for him because it's still on 0 kilograms, and then the last 4 people right in front of him all pick Radical.
Yeah.
And he ends up on 40 kilograms for it. I still think the AMG is an option here. And Traction GG, our title sponsor for this series, now partner for the GT Pro series and GT Challenge series this year, they actually wrote that Bolesny drives the AMG GT3 in other series. So, you see, there's a possibility you see the Merc.
Ooh, I'd almost tempted to say that he'll go with the Merc. If not, I think it's between the Merc and the Callaway, which so far, my prediction record after 12 has been terrible. So whatever I say is absolutely not the truth.
Next time we do fantasy draft as an own live show.
Right.
We'll
the
have a little
draft.
score alongside.
Right,
us,
yeah. No, that sounds a lot better to me.
Yeah, I think that would be good. We should bring that in for season 4, where we get points for pick prediction.
We should have absolutely done our picks before this broadcast and then
Yeah.
been locked into it. Let's see.
All right. Barger Sim Racing, Bolesny for his pick,
Oh,
and it is
see.
another
650.
McLaren.
I'm terrible at this.
I don't think any of us got that one. In fairness,
No.
nobody in chat got that. None of us got it. We were completely all thrown away by that one. So 10 kilograms on the 650S. That's the first one. So next pick will be 20 kilograms. Will we see anyone dip into that? Probably not for a while.
I'm just really surprised that no one went for the Aston Martin,
I know.
but going for 10 kilograms.
Yeah.
It's so I'd definitely be absolutely done here because saying that I would take the Aston Martin. Obviously, a lot of people know something that I don't. It is very, very interesting that some people are taking 10 kilos. But yeah, anyway, the one thing that I feel bad for is the livery designers who, like, say for example, we get to R8G and they all pick different liveries. It's just like, oh my god, I have to do all of that now. Are you kidding me?
Hey,
like,
he had an easy job last year.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he can charge individual cars then, so he's actually
Yeah,
going to be making more money.
Well, Yordi's obviously does the liveries for Jean Alesi Esports. Whilst he had a Ferrari last season, now has to do a Callaway and a Bentley before the season starts. And obviously for GT Pro, the season starts really soon. So there is not long, literally block out a week, and you've just got to get on those liveries straight away. That is going to be a hard turnover period for those livery designers.
I got to hope they've had some like preemptive warning from their
Right.
drivers, right?
But what if you change last minute? Or if you're just like, yeah, you get that preemptive warning. You get
Here's
to
my
Dennis,
list
like, nope.
of 7 cars I might pick.
Like, yeah, where do you start? I think that's a surprising thing. That yeah, where are they going?
One thing that's not surprising is where the next pick's going. I think we all know, don't we?
Oh,
We
no,
all
no,
know.
no, wait.
No.
You don't
No,
think
this is Williams.
Really?
Esports. This
Willi-
is not BMW team
No.
That's true.
GB.
That's true.
So there is a chance that they choose different cars actually to be on
Yeah.
top because they think the BMW might has too many kilograms in the end. Another thing, by the way, when we're talking about we should have had our picks ready. I think next time we need an Erhan cam
Yeah.
to see how he
Yeah,
goes
yeah,
through
yeah,
all these
yeah.
picks.
Absolutely.
I think that will be interesting.
Just head in hands.
I think look, he needs to have sat there and been like, I'm taking a car with 40 kilos, whether I like it or not.
Yeah.
And just been like, that's it. I've already made my pick. We're just going to roll with it. Well, we'll see what happens when he gets to it. Obviously, the point as to why, Lee, you're alluding to, we kind of know where Ballett's going is because Williams Esports also teamed up with Jakub Brzezinski and Nikodem Wisniewski. They're still sort of Williams. Obviously, there's team BMW Team GB there. So the assumption would be that Williams Esports, going along with that trend, are going to take a BMW, but he doesn't have to, and he hasn't gone under the BMW team something. So I think he's trying to keep it open so he doesn't have to go for the BMW.
He's with Marla, isn't he?
Is Marla, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
basically another sub team. So it's Marla
It's
asking
all-
for
yeah.
services, basically.
Radical
right?
confirmed.
Right.
It's up Yellow, Williams Esports. Let's see what
Obviously
he
in the
takes.
Callaway
It's
before,
Shocker.
it is the BMW.
Oh no. I am so bad at this. Okay, right.
I
Well,
really thought they'd do that with team names to give Williams the chance to pick something else.
what I thought. Yeah, absolutely.
to drop the weight for them, perhaps.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit of
Yeah.
team internal, sort of get the work going. But no, you've also got to remember these drivers are driving for themselves, for their prizes, for everything that goes with it. So it may just be a case, I mean, it is only 10 kilos on it as well. Don't forget, it's not obviously a big 20, 30, 40. It's only the 10K. So he had pretty much a choice of either the Aston or the Merc without it, or 10 kilos, take your pick.
Interesting will be the next one, I think, Arne Schenflit, because season 1, he was driving a Porsche. Season 2, Callaway Corvette. He could go back to Porsche because the Porsche is still there with 10 kilograms. So you could get back a car that he drove in GT Pro already with fairly low kilograms.
And I think it'd be safe to say he would be disappointed with his season 2. Like his season 1 was he was looking good in the Porsche in season 1. In 2, it just didn't work out for him the way he wanted. He was very much middle of the field the whole way through, which is why he sees himself in this big position.
Was right up in the top 10 of the standings in season 1, and then season 2 ended 17th. Not going to be happy with that at all. And Arne, he's a very, very competitive driver, always has been in sim racing for a good while, and I kind of feel that he knows that he needs to sort of step it up again this season. Obviously life's a bit busy, as is with everyone. There's series going on left, right and centre, and it's how you focus your time. And he'll be looking here to, from picking two different cars of the last 2 seasons, thinking which one was more comfortable, or do I want to go with something else? I think he'll go for something else. I don't think it's going to be a Porsche or a Callaway, which means it'll probably be a Porsche or a Callaway. So
I would say go back to Porsche, because the Callaway season didn't really work out for him. While he had the car, that seemed to be the thing to win on. So maybe it's just not his style. Maybe front engine cars are not his style in this one. Then he could go McLaren. He could go Porsche for the rear engine. Could go Radical. Is there even an engine in it?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to go McLaren 720. Why not? Why not? Spice it up.
All right, Aiden?
Porsche.
Lee?
Aston.
Ah, that was my pick.
Lee's been surprisingly good at this.
All right.
I mean,
I would
Dennis
actually-
Lynn thinks it's
I say
probably
it's
the Radical.
Yeah,
But
Radical.
now
Radical.
you've pointed out that he's quite competitive. He probably will pick the Aston because it's got no weight on it.
We will go Radical.
Well, Radical's not got any weight on it either. So
Yeah.
I love how none of us are like, it's probably going to be the Mercedes. So I don't think we'll see a Mercedes this season, to be honest. I don't know. We'll find out now.
We do. Ajira racing with the first pick for Arne Schunflit. Let's see how he starts into the season. Great. Another McLaren 720. Yes, it is.
Finally, at least
So we
had
had been really bad so far. I think we, besides doing a draft for cars, we'll probably do another draft for expert teams on picks. Will be a new one. Wow.
This is why we're just commentators, not pundits.
Yeah, right.
Probably. Not analysts. Let's say.
It's the whole, I mean, this has been very hard to pick because it's been wildly all over the place compared to where we were expecting it to go. Shout out to Arne for giving me one. I'll give him some money backstage after that. So thanks. At least I got one right. Yeah, it's been massively unpredictable so far. We still have 3 cars with 0 kilos, but the next one is not going to be taking that. I'm pretty sure, at least based on the name, we can take a pretty good assumption here that it's going to be a BMW.
And that's a chance for everyone to actually win a DLC or rFactor 2 game code, because it is the next pick.
Oh dear.
Predict this pick correctly and you've got a chance to actually win a DLC or the base game if you need it. So make sure to type that in Twitch chat. Come over to rFactor Live in case you're watching.
Look how much DLC you're going to be handing out. Look at that.
Yeah, I mean, we're not handing it out to
everyone.
Right pick.
It's not everyone.
I'd hate to be in your accounting department right now.
I don't know.
We'll be like this.
Quite well.
You get a DLC, and you get a DLC, and you get a DLC. And it's there we go.
This is when someone is like, no, he's going in the Aston, and everyone's like, well, obviously not. He's BMW Team GB, and then suddenly he's like, oh no, he is going for the Aston. Wow.
Yeah, and then right after we basically announced that BMW bought Aston Martin.
Yeah.
And there we go. You never know.
Lawrence Stroll doesn't want it anymore.
It's not been very long he's had it. Yeah,
20 kilo pick this one though. This is the first.
Yeah.
This is I mean, we've still
heavy.
we got zeros out there, and we got people that, I mean, obviously it's a team obligation, so he kind of has to be in a BMW. It's as simple as that.
It's where they go after this, though. This is where things get very, very interesting. Of course, we've got Nikodem Wisniewski, who will take a BMW as well. And, of course, Kevin Siggy, who will take a BMW. Outside of that, I have no idea. And we've got some big teams coming up. Of course, we've got Burst Esports and we've got R8G. It's wide open as to which ones they pick. Because are you going to... If you're part of R8G or Burst, you almost have to take one for the team in a sense, because you've got your number 1 driver coming up last in both senses. Sorry to the teams, because I know Risto and obviously is very good, and I know that Mitchie and Dennis and Siebel obviously and the Burst side. You kind of want Yerne and you want Erhan to be in the best cars. So how do you kind of help them into that scenario?
I wonder, does it change picks, seeing that unlikely cars all of a sudden go towards 40 kilograms, because then an Aston Martin doesn't look that bad anymore, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It only gets lighter compared to the others, basically, especially compared to the other quick drivers that will choose something with 30 or 40. So Jakub Brzezinski, BMW Team GB, big surprise.
There we go.
BMW M6.
Massive. I am shocked and sun.
Now, what watches that with 30 kilos is faster than an Aston Martin with no weight.
The good news is we all got it right.
Yes.
As did everybody in Twitch chat. So somebody somewhere is going to win themselves a prize.
Yeah, at least there's that. Oh,
Get those whispers out.
I love, we see already headlines. BMW official sim racing driver choose not to drive the BMW, choosing radical instead. It's like, yeah, that will make a proper headline. We'll be on Traction GG for sure. Could be sure about that one. If it ever happens. But unlikely. Jimmy Nisula is up next, Satellite Racing. Jimmy was driving a McLaren in season 1. So there is, wait, both McLarens are already on 10 kilograms. So next pick 20 kilograms.
Yeah,
he could shy away from it, go Callaway.
Yeah, he had the Callaway last season. Did all right in it, all things considered.
Yeah, they changed McLaren to Callaway. But on the other hand, though, in terms of Callaway, they didn't do so good compared that everyone else had the same car.
Right.
So that's basically the same as Arne, right? He was good with a Porsche. He showed a crazy amount of fights and won them and all that. But it seems like in the Callaway, he was not as competitive as in other cars. So maybe it's the same for Jimmy Nisula. I don't know.
Yeah, massively different. But he does drive a Porsche in the Virtual Endurance Championship and is actually really fast in it. But obviously, that is a GTE, not a GT3, so wildly different. But still, there is that sort of like, you know, there's certain driver traits in it, obviously being a rear engine car and how it slides through corners and stuff that quite clearly gels with him. And that's quite a competitive field as well. So maybe there is that, maybe he'll lean towards the Porsche.
I mean, it is different. Like the GTE is completely different, but characteristics wise, it's still similar in terms of how you have to get into a corner to make it work the way you want it to be quick. So I think that's an option. It's still on only 10 kilograms in the next pick, though it doesn't sound too bad.
I just wonder, now we're at the halfway stage. These guys obviously have known about this draft mode for a little while, that have known, you know, they're going to be in a later pick. Are they now? How much have they tested? Say the Astons and the Benz or something like that. Maybe they're thinking, okay, I like 20 kilograms. I'm looking at probably plus 20, maybe even a 30, because obviously, you know, we expected to see a couple more people going for the same car by now. Maybe they're thinking, okay, yes, I can't get on with this car that well, but is it better than a 20 kilogram plus on this car? Then it's gotta be, right?
Well, what are we going for? We've got 20 seconds. I am going with the Callaway. I think he is just going to roll it.
I think so.
Had it last season. I think Callaway sounds good to me.
All right, Aiden?
Callaway or Aston?
I'll go Aston.
Ooh, we're all leaning towards that Callaway.
Aston,
which means
has
we're
to
all
happen
wrong.
at 1 point. Satellite Racing, Jimmy Nisula, that is midway.
Callaway.
It is Callaway. There we go. That is the second Callaway.
And I think Lewis hit it on the head. It's one of the cars that can take weight. It's not that big a weight drop for it already, so you know it's already in. I was actually expecting it to be picked a bit earlier than this, actually, as the second choice.
By now, Erhaniovsky is probably already testing the speed of the free cam. And see if that's a valid choice. It's like, can I do free cam and just hover over it and see if that works out for him? All right, Michi Hoyer, Burst Esports, he's up next. Obviously, he was the very first champion of the GT Challenge series, so the feeder series into pro with the Audi R8, which was picked already. So also that Audi sits on 20 kilos for the next pick. Do you think there is a chance that he returns to Audi?
I think there is quite a potential because he, you know, in that season where he won in GT Challenge 4-time race winner that season, did back-to-back on both occasions. One was in a feature race into a sprint race, and then the other one was total domination at Sebring, where he won both races that afternoon. Incredible stuff. Did okay in the Callaway, all things considered, but not great. Probably not as well as he would have wanted, especially in comparison to his teammates. So this season's about stepping it up, and sometimes going back to what was comfortable is the step up. But this is where things get interesting. Does he go for something different than his teammates? Obviously, he'll be working closely with Jone Simoncic, as he does in quite a few places in sim racing, but also he'll be working with Dennis Jordan, who interestingly is in a burst this year properly. And of course, been working close with Alex Siebel as well. That four have been working close together for quite a while. So does he go for the same thing? I know we asked this question a lot. I don't know. I'm feeling Audi.
We do have the option, of course, because the 18 and 19 are both on only one pick, so we could have maybe one go for the 18. Obviously, we saw it the 18 being picked very first by Andonovski, and maybe by the time he gets to Jordan, there's still second pick options there. Maybe
They could both get Audis with only 20 kilograms and with only 10 kilograms.
Yeah, absolutely.
They could. I think that's an option. I still think. I mean, we now have a very
I think
a big
Van der
variety
Heijden's
on the
taking
grid
one
already.
of the Audis.
It's like there's a huge variety on the grid already, but you could still pick 3 cars with 0 kilograms. And since Michi Hoy is basically in between, right? He was very good in GT Challenge. It seems like not working that well for him in the Callaway Corvette in Season 2. Right. So maybe he sees, wait, if everyone else got way more weight than I do, maybe that is the spark I need, even on a different car. And it could be a midship car, because he used mid-engine Audi in the first season, right? So I think they could be like McLaren, Audi, or maybe go for 0 kilograms and just say it's an Aston and make it happen. So just so that we see the Aston on the grid, we'll be sad to not have one.
I don't know. Yeah, I this is one that I'm finding quite hard to call. I'm gonna go with my heart and say it's gonna be an Audi. Naturally,
Which year?
18. No, yeah, 18. 18.
Oh, I mean, I was going 18 as well. I'm sticking with it as well.
Okay.
19 Audi.
Here's the pick. Michi Hoy Burst Esports. It is the Audi, and it is the 19.
Called it.
So the new one.
Oh, no.
No, 2018.
No, it was. We were right. We were right.
What?
Second guessing myself.
This is it.
Right.
That's 2 in a row for me and you, Lee.
Yeah,
We're doing all right
we've got the
this now.
same ones. Actually, is that 3? Isn't it 3 for you? You got the thing as well.
Third one. Yeah, well, I mean, technically, we've done quite a few because we all picked BMW Team GB, which.
But there was no fantasy draft yet.
No,
you have to
no.
wait
No,
for
I
season 4.
know. Right, who's next? HME. Gonna go the same as Luca? No. No, I don't think so.
I mean, Lucas on the 650s,
Not
right?
not with the 20 kilos, no. I mean, the Ferrari was picked really early and then has just been ignored for a long stretch of it. Ferry Stanley, of course, was in the Callaway. I don't know whether he's going to go with a Ferrari. I reckon we might see the other Audi picked here. You know,
I'm so surprised that there is no other Ferrari yet. To be honest, I kind of overlooked that because the Ferrari was big in season 2. Like big.
Wasn't Ferris in the Bentley in season 1?
Merc. I was wondering.
Merc.
I was
Yeah,
like,
he was.
He was in the Merc.
Satellite. Yeah.
The only AMG in a top split.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Didn't do
could go with that.
so great in it, but did enough to hold on to top split. I think he didn't go. Did he go through the relegation? I think he did.
He did. Yes.
In
yes.
season 1.
In
Yeah.
season
Yeah.
1. Yeah.
He might go.
By now
he
we've
might
got
go back to the
relegation
Merc.
specialists.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Merc.
You're going straight up with the Merc.
I'm going straight to Merc. Yeah.
It was a solid pick for him on a BOP where everyone was like, "Oh, he will be dead last, no chance," and he still was with everyone else there. It was fine, mid of the grid. Why not? 0 kilograms. Everyone around him on similar pace will sit on way more kilograms unless they go Porsche or Radical or Aston Martin. An option.
These are the ones where it's getting very testing. I don't know why my brain was just leaning towards Callaway, although I really don't think that's the case because I wouldn't take a 20 kilo Callaway.
No, he didn't do that great with the Callaway either.
No,
last
either.
season. I mean,
Yeah,
he did
exactly.
okay, but it wasn't that great. I mean, like you say, he did drive the AMG in the first year, so maybe in the first. I keep saying year, it's the season. It's been a long time since the first season, in fairness, but I still feel that he's going to go for one of those 10 kilo cars out there. I'm going to go with the Audi 2019. I think Van der Heijden wants that myself, but I think he's going for it.
I think he's going to go Merc or Ferrari.
Do one of the Bentleys not have weight? I think the 2020, but is it 28? One of the Bentleys not have
The
weight?
old Bentley
old
should have
Bentley,
10
no.
kilograms now.
10 kilos. Yeah, I'll go with that. I'm going with the 2018 Bentley. That's my pick. What about you, Rennie?
I said I would go Merc because he had a great season, won in it, and you always get highlighted if you're the only Mercedes AMG driver out there.
For sure.
The real question is something like Porsche even a viable pick for him? So we'll figure out. Ferris Stanley, HM Engineering, second pick for this team is the Ferrari.
Hello.
Cool.
I mean,
There we go.
I'm surprised that it's so late for the second Ferrari pick, because we had 2 or 3 in GT Pro Season 2, and we even had a few in GT Challenge.
Yeah, it was the third pick of the day, so we were kind of expecting it a little bit earlier, but it's hung on well. I'm impressed by how much of a spread we've got as well. That everyone really is thinking. I was expecting one of the cars, whatever car they've of choice of favorite for the BOP would be stacked out by now, but we're spreading pretty well.
Yeah, where you said earlier, Rene, that you get that sort of bonus, almost a little bit broadcast time when you're in the one Mercedes. You're in the one this one.
Yeah.
Obviously, the one Mercedes in a field of McLarens and a little bit else. Same in GT Challenge, obviously, with Michi Hoy being one of the lone Audis in a field of McLarens. Last season, of course, field of Callaway, so you give a little bit of leeway to the Ferraris and stuff. Whereas this season, it looks like no one's getting extra bonus broadcast time for which car they've picked, except maybe, obviously, Erhan and that Radical that he'll pick, right? It's all looking pretty fair and even at the moment.
Next season, champion will not be able to pick his car, but the entire grid will pick. So most votes, that's the car he gets.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's how it should have been this season. Yeah, Erhan. Well, he'd definitely be in the Radical at that point. Jan van der Heide. What are we thinking? I'm going for our first 20 kilos here. I'm feeling 720.
Not another Ferrari. I mean, you picked one Ferrari already.
Yeah, but now we'll have 20 kilos, won't it?
Oh, it's a good point. There has already been a Ferrari picked, but you're gonna have 20 kilos if you take on the McLaren. That's a very good point. Maybe stick with the Ferrari. But those two, Ibra and Jan, both drive quite differently from memory.
Okay. I think he's going to go for the 2019 Audi. I'm surprised it stayed out there this long.
Yeah, I am so surprised that Ferrari was so late because it's like I say, it won the championship in GT Challenge. I was very surprised to see it in this late. So. Who knows? I mean,
we don't know.
We certainly don't. We even Sancho related, we definitely don't know. I'm still going to stick with it. I'm going 720. That's my call.
Aiden,
you think he's going? So there's don't forget the Porsche is still out there as well.
Yeah, Porsche still there.
But can he drive the Porsche? Like, is there any other series where he drove the Porsche so far?
Well, the thing is, we've used the Aston before. So we've got data for it.
Two
physics
updates and 3 BOPs later.
We've used most of the cars. We've used McLarens, the other McLarens. We even used a Bentley back in the day.
Oh yeah, we did.
A long time ago.
What is Jan van der Heide? What did you choose in season 1? Was it McLaren?
McLaren.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, 650 or 720 because they have been both.
I'm holding 720 based on something I'll describe later.
720 or Aston.
If I'm right. I hope I'm right.
720.
Thank goodness for that.
Insider knowledge finally paying off.
That was a little bit of insider information and not from what I was just messaged. There was a recent signing to Zancho Simsport being one Mr. Devin Browner who departed Cetres Nita Velix and joined the team and has already had a bit of an impact on the team in a positive sense by helping with the cars and car choice. And earlier when they were picking, like not picking per se, but like when they were driving some of them, Jan did say that he was thinking and leaning a little bit towards a 720 because of some of the things that he was shown. So hopefully it works out. But with 20 kilos, that is quite a price.
It is the next pick, by the way, for the giveaway. I'm always coming in with the commercials. You're like, hey guys, there's something for you out there to win as well. So make sure that you give us your prediction in the chat in Twitch. In Twitch chat. Yep. It's getting late, it seems. And if you have the right prediction, you might end up with either getting a DLC free choice or the rFactor 2 code, in case you don't have to buy some yet. All right, but next up is Alex Siebel, Evolution Motorsport. And Alex was driving a BMW in Season 1. And then a Corvette in Season 2.
And won in it. The BMW. Won in the BMW.
He was really good Season 1. He had some very surprising results compared to the drivers around him all of a sudden.
Yeah,
but he was super strong. Silverstone, he was good. Nürburgring, he was good.
Yeah. I mean, he's a very good driver, and also has come across a few seasons in the off season between this where he's done quite well. I think I think he's built himself to even being a little bit better than he was last season, especially considering he's just completed his dissertation I think he's finished his masters or something at uni. Yeah. He's been very busy recently.
He's actually got time now to practice.
Yeah, exactly. I think. What are we thinking here? I am thinking Audi. I'm thinking 2019 Audi. Opposite of Mitchie. Don't know.
What else do we still have with 10 kilograms?
Well, the 2017 Bentley is out.
Yeah,
there,
the old Bentley.
And the Porsche as well.
Bentley.
They're both on the first picks. And then, of course, the Aston and the AMG and the Radical that are all been left in the corner like that poor kid at school.
That was me. I'd hope it was I was hoping someone was going to jump in and say me too then, but no, just me. It's fine.
Just leave you hanging there, mate.
I'm still in the corner apparently.
It's all right, Lewis. Now
Yeah,
your
yeah.
first pick for everyone.
Right.
So,
Okay.
don't worry.
Okay. I'll just I'll climb into the corner of the room down there and just rock myself to tears as well.
You know how it is. If you're last pick in school and on the coolness list, then you mostly end up with a really good life. I was lately comparing that like to my school life and all the cool people.
Yeah.
What they do now. I think it kind of shows you going in the right direction if in school you're not the most popular.
Hold on a minute. You used to drive cars for a living.
But not for in school. All right, there we go.
Oh, new
The
Audi.
Audi
It is the
here.
2019.
There we go. So there we go. Now we're getting all right at this.
Yeah.
Woo.
I mean, I said it 4 times running, so I had to get it eventually.
Yeah, if you give it enough times, maybe. I mean, to be fair though, if you'd have been picking the Mercedes every single time until now, you still wouldn't
still
be
be
right.
screwed, yeah.
So
Yeah. Or the Aston.
Lorenzo Arisi next. Ferrari.
Yeah, it was Ferrari last season, right?
Yeah, Waveframe Esports obviously being an Italian team and stuff, and has got a lot of experience in that Ferrari. Almost all of those see them in Ferraris, although they are, I think in last season there were a couple of Waveframe cars in Split 1 of Challenge that were in Porsches. So
Really? Okay.
yeah, Andrea Terzi was in a Porsche. And I
Didn't
may
they even have
insulted
two
them.
different ones in Pro as well? They had a Ferrari and a Corvette.
Ooh, that is a good
There was a Waveframe
question.
Esports Corvette, definitely, in Season 2. I remember that livery on a Corvette.
I think
so-
they were all in Corvettes in.
At one
they,
point.
they were all Corvette Callaways in GT Pro. That's a very good point. Still going Ferrari. I'm going Ferrari
Ferrari.
early. I'm committing early. I'm committing now. Is this one of the picks, or is this?
No,
the chat?
Siebel
was one of the picks. Okay.
was DLC pick. Next one is, by the way, Rista Capet. Will be an interesting one because that's also the very first Roman Grosjean esports pick. So that will be a tough one.
Gonna be a big. They've had a lot change in their team as well. The last little bit, which obviously we'll get into a bit later on. I am noticing quite a lot this season. Obviously, this does come from some of the splits and stuff. Is we're seeing a lot of smaller teams, like single driver teams. Last season we had a good 4 drivers from one team, a bit more as well. Whereas this season we're seeing a lot of 1s and 2s, which wonder how that's going to play into things on track, if at all.
I think we're all in agreement. It's probably a Ferrari. I don't think anyone else is going to be having a second thought. Obviously, we're probably expecting, even though it's a 20 kilo Ferrari, and then the 40 kilo BMW to follow it. I mean, it's like that's it, right? Okay, so we got a 10-minute break. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about I think it was to do because there was some discussions about the Ferraris. The Ferrari is a car that you apply an awful lot of rake to because it does turn quite well when you do so. But if you have it below that point, it can be a little bit sluggish. Obviously, a lot of these guys know that anyway. And for those of you that don't know what rake is, it's that. Basically, it's how that the car is.
It's how BMWs normally look like end of 19s or early 2000s, like this. Because if you always drive downhill, it's obviously quicker because it's going downhill.
Yeah.
And you use less fuel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Engineering degree right here.
I don't have an engineering degree, and trust me, it shows. Right. Ferrari, we've all gone for. What are we getting here? Callaway.
Callaway.
Well, same as last season then.
Okay. Like maybe they didn't want to do new liveries.
Yeah, I think that's mostly it. The
I mean, they had
the livery
Ferrari
designers,
liveries.
like, you are not taking anything other than a Callaway.
I mean, so the interesting part is like how well would the Ferrari deal with the extra weight as opposed to how the Callaway will deal with the extra weight.
Yeah.
I think so. This is where things get a little bit interesting in that side of things, is because at least when we had the first BOP for the Ferrari for the Callaway last season, it was added. I can't remember how much weight it exactly was. I think it was something like maybe like 10 kilos, 6 kilos. Don't fully remember. And it didn't really make that much of a difference because I think the Callaway does take its weight quite nicely. And obviously where the BOP didn't really head too much towards the Ferrari because they were just trying to slow the Callaway down a little bit, that drivers know that Callaway does take its weight quite well. And maybe there's a little bit of sort of like, oh, I'm not too sure about the Ferrari taking its weight even remotely as well. Only 9 more picks though. And at this point, you do have to weigh up that question. No weight and potentially a bad car, or weight. I think it's gone quite well for some of them though, because where the picks have been so spread out, there's plenty of 20 kilo options on the table.
Yeah, but we
Still a
always
few
say,
tens.
like, there is a bad car. I mean, obviously we know the next pick, Nikitin Wisniewski, will be a BMW. That's not a big surprise, right? So we can basically go to Dennis Jordan, Birds Esports. But the thing here is a bad car in terms of it's not up to the same pace in current BOP from what the people tested so far. The BOP is not old, right?
Right.
Is that still a bad pick for a driver that's absolutely top-notch? Because we're now in the ranks of the best of the best in GT Pro Series. Could they be as quick as the others with weight on a bad car, so to say? Because let's be honest here, putting Risto Capit in the Aston Martin, I would still say he will probably score a lot of points because it's Risto Capit.
Yeah.
He's really good. So is it now a chance maybe for one of them to be risky enough and say, you know what, I'll go for the 0 kilogram pick, because with all the other kilograms, they all get slower. So at one point, I'm leveled out again.
It's interesting you say Risto, because I'm pretty sure Risto was the one that was in chat that said the Aston Martin is absolutely dreadful.
Yes.
Plus DOP. So I'm pretty interested to see whether he does actually go for it. Dennis,
Maybe that was tactic.
Well, that's it. He's
Yeah,
a sneaky tactic
everyone
to
away
like
from
get
it.
in the mental minds of everyone else. But we got the BMW, the Bentley. Sorry, the old Bentley is still out there as well. So I won't be too surprised if we see Dennis maybe sneak for that rather than taking a 20 kilo.
Yeah, I'm not sure per se. As I say, we know what the next car is going to be.
It's a
gonna be
BMW
big.
next, guys. Yeah.
Flat out a BMW. Unfortunately,
40
just
kilo, isn't
boring.
it? Is this going to hit
30.
it? Oh, 30. This will be a
This
30.
is a 30.
Yeah,
kilo
40 are
BMW.
reserved for Kevin Siggy.
Yeah, literally. Just, oh man, he is going to be. He's the.
That's
only,
so
I think he's the
sad.
only one with
That's a
40.
big hit. That is,
Let's be honest. He was so quick with that car in
Yeah.
an unfavorable BOP in season 2. He's a maniac on that.
I'm going to put it out there. I feel sorry for Kevin because he's the man that actually championed the BMW throughout season 2, and now he's getting punished for it.
Yeah.
I really feel for the guy.
It's just how the system is that we have at the moment. Say love it or hate it, it's doing exactly what it was designed to do, i.e. splitting up the grid. As a driver later on, these ones being picked now, I wouldn't like it. As a spectator and as looking towards the entertainment value of the season to come, I think some of the racing that we're going to see may be better than the 2 previous seasons. Obviously, the only way to find that out is to wait until the season coming up. But for someone like Kevin Siggy, who we know is a huge talent, I think he is in for a very hard season 3 here.
I mean, luckily the prize pool was expended, right? There's no money until the last position. Because obviously we looked into that, like what happens if people have a completely different season to previously, right? Because I think you're right. Most drivers will be like, I'm not really enjoying this. On the other hand, we heard the same when it was about the reverse grid. And let's be real, there are many, many drivers that absolutely love reverse grid because it makes their evening very entertaining, right? And blast by people. Well, that's cool. It is entertainment. Like, it is competition as much as it needs to be entertainment because people out there want to see the best drivers racing, but they want to see an entertaining race, right? And I have to say, Arniowski was absolutely mad. He's a great driver, huge name. He should probably be way bigger than that. There should be T-shirts being sold with his name, because his skill set is amazing. But it's similar to Formula One, right? No one wants to see another season where the guy's just running away with it.
Hey, I'm fine seeing Lewis win it again.
Yeah. All right. No,
British people are not eligible for this one here.
Oh, I see.
Eight titles, place 7. Come on, let's do it.
We had to sit through the Schumacher years. I'm fine with this.
I think Erhan's actually like for his talent, because obviously when you get like drivers that are that fast, sometimes they come with a bit of ego and a bit of arrogance that people don't like. Not naming names, but the thing is, he's got this sort of persona that people like he's quite a popular driver, and he is really, really fast. He doesn't have that arrogance and that ego. He's quite a down to earth and quite a relaxed kind of guy, and I think people get along with that. So I would definitely take an Arniowski t-shirt. Whether he's going to win the season, though, he's going to have to struggle through this one. Next up, though, is Dennis Jordan, Burst Esports. Obviously, the two drivers before him being two Audis of 2 different years. I'm feeling Bentley. I think this is what you also said, Lee. Bentley 17 is where I'm going with this one. I'm thinking low weight, Bentley, go for it.
Yeah, definitely that one.
Definitely that one. Thanks, Aidan.
Do we all go Bentley now? But by the way, Lee, when Lewis described Arniowski, I had to think of Aurélien Mallet, actually. Similar driver, like really, really good. And super down to earth. And it is the Bentley. There we go. Old Bentley back in the grid. Second pick.
We're getting this. This is good. We've got our rhythm going now. We've got a flow. We're starting to get some right. So not too surprising, obviously, that there wasn't too many 10-kilo cars out there. I can't imagine the Porsche takes the weight as well as, say, a Bentley will. No. So it's not too surprising to see that.
It's already heavy anyway, isn't it? So if you stick an extra 10 kilos on there, percentage makes no difference. I've noticed how when we start picking them, Lee, when we both pick, it seems to be
That's it. When we're in sync.
Exactly. But now we've got one. This is quite a big change as well, because Jonas Raivio driving without a team. He's a solo driver, one of 2 solo drivers this season, being Hugh Kasdorp as well. No team behind them. Both friends as well. Obviously, Jonas was, until very recently, a part of the Zancho SimSport outfit, has departed that, and now is going to be driving by himself. Where's he going to be going? Because he's picked, I think he was in the Callaway last season, but he also had driven Ferrari, obviously GTEs and stuff, but he had driven the Ferraris and sort of got along with that kind of car. I really don't know where Jonas is going, although I would suggest his pick might be similar to Yuri's. Maybe a radical.
I'll bet that Yuri is going for the
yet.
Radical, because that will get him a lot of viewers on his stream.
Right. Mr. Popular now. Big streamer, isn't he? Yuri's doing well.
It's funny, I see another message bleeping up. It's Payopef asking, why is no one else picking my Porsche? I think he's afraid now. It's like, did I do the wrong thing going for
Did
a
I do
car
it
that
wrong
no one else?
for the third season running?
Right.
I mean, he did 2 seasons of Porsche already, right? He should be the next Porsche factory driver for sim racing, because no matter the BOP, he always picks it. So I think that's good. Very loyal. But yeah, Jonas Raivio, if he picks the same as Yuri Kasdorp, could we see, let's be honest, Yuri Kasdorp is one of these drivers that are really into finding these small details. And if there is someone that knows something about a car that no one else knows, that's kind of like an outside pick, it would be Yuri in terms of the radical. So maybe they're both going for it because they know it will actually be good.
I'm going a completely random call here. A minute to go. I'm going Merc. I think we're going to see something absolutely weird here, and I think Jonas is just going to be like, do you know what? I'm going for the Mercedes. It's just going to be funny. It's either that or the Radical. Just going to go for something funny and just roll with it and see what happens.
I'm thinking maybe the 650S. I'm thinking the McLaren. It's still a 20-kilo pick. It's a big pick, but a lot of weight for a car like that to take. But I think he might do it.
Had it in the first season, did he? The 650.
Yeah.
Because when he was driving
he did.
for
That's what I was thinking
YMCA. Yeah.
And he sent it around the outside of the Porsche curves in that thing.
Yeah, what was a tile light blue-ish McLaren?
Yeah,
with,
and then
with that Panda or what it was on the side.
Yeah, what YMCA? Yeah. was a good call. That is a good call. We've not gone for the same one, so we're both wrong.
Yeah, that means we got it completely wrong. Aiden, this is your time. This is your moment.
Radical.
650 or Callaway.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Aston.
Aston.
It's here.
Oh,
There we
hello.
go.
Ast.
The Aston Martin.
Oh,
Oh my god, look at how many different cars we have on the grid already.
I
right.
love it. I mean, Louis said earlier, from an entertaining perspective, it's fantastic for us. I understand the drivers will maybe struggle with it, but you know what? The reverse grid worked, and it was brilliant, and it really livened up everything. And it's actually put a shining light on some drivers that often wouldn't have it. You were talking about Alex Tebel earlier. He won that race based off the fact that he came 10th in the sprint race and got himself and led from the start, and it gave him a great race. And I think this is an opportunity for someone out there to sort of shine. Eunice, a bold choice when a lot of drivers, like you were saying, you were talking about Peo earlier, talking about how he's like, have I made the right choice because nobody else is going for the Porsche? You start to second guess yourself and question yourself. Even though these guys are so good at racing, they're still generally in their own little shells and not really discussing with the other drivers about what they should go for, especially when they're competitors.
Yeah.
By the way,
Absolutely.
next pick is another DLC pick, which means you need to get your predictions in Twitch chat to participate. And if you're lucky and have the right pick, then you might end up with a DLC of your choice or rFactor 2 copy, in case you don't have it yet. So make sure that you put your prediction in Twitch chat. Let's be honest here. Some of it is just guessing.
It's
the same for us.
Yeah, it's how we've been doing it.
It is the first Romain Grosjean esports pick, which means this one could decide what the rest of the team picks in case they really just making things up now, because it's about storytelling and figuring out if there is something. Let's say they would all have practiced on the Mercedes. They found a way to make it work for them, because then they could pick 3 Mercedeses on Risto, Alsapti, and Yayovsky and get away with 30 kilograms only. So compared to some of the other picks, but they are better picks still. I mean, there's 20 kilograms available on the 650S. There is 20 kilograms on the Audi.
Well, there's 10 kilos on the Aston and the Porsche. So
It's
and obviously the Merc and the Radical.
So theoretically, we'd look at the drivers left. We know that Siggy's having the BMW. Simic is probably going to take one of the Audis. So we're looking at 4 drivers that we're unsure of. And as you say, that really opens up an opportunity for Romain Grosjean to maybe take a car like the Mercedes and say, okay, all 3 drivers, no problem.
Yeah. Or they're all going in the radicals. I think, obviously...
Yuri will be like, no!
with how things have been previously, of course, because we've had a AAA esports driver, and obviously the R8G esports drivers being, I think all of them are still AAA esports contracted and then are sort of like loaned out to R8G. I always forget how it works because it's quite a complicated mess, but they're obviously all driving for R8G at the moment, but they're still quite close with AAA, so maybe they kind of follow on that. But I'm pretty sure it was a 720S for Kevin Rotting, and I'm pretty sure it's already got a lot of weight in it. So I kind of agree with your mentality, Rennie. I think he's going for something bizarre, and I think we're going radical. Let's go for it.
There's a cap at the
Mercedes.
Porsche.
Another
Damn it.
Boat.
All right. That's what, 30 kilograms by now?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we were talking about it the same with, the Bentley. If any car can take the weight, it is going to be a Bentley. It is always a heavy car originally. So adding 30 kilos, yes, it's a lot, but it should be okay as comparison to, say, I don't know, adding 30 kilos on, say, a Ferrari.
For sure. No, I
Porsche,
like that mentality.
obviously. Yeah.
I do, because like you say, if you're already starting with a heavy car and you're adding a little bit, like, because weight is obviously quite important, obviously, but if you're with, they're already fairly balanced anyway, as much as they can be. If you're putting 10 kilos in something that weighs so much and it's only this percentage of it, then as long as you're keeping that percentage difference lower, it can be 10 kilos, 30 kilos. It doesn't actually matter too much as long as the percentage
It was
difference.
20. It was 20.
He picked 20 kilograms, so it wasn't
Because it's
30
2021, yeah, of course.
yet. Yeah, so it is 20. That's not that bad, I would say. And of course, you're right regarding a car that can take it, and probably better than the Porsche, which is already, due to its balance and having the engine in the rear and all that, putting additional weight to it. It doesn't make it a lot easier. It gives way now to Yuri Kastorp to do something for his viewers, basically, for entertainment, and pick the first radical, which was leave us with only the Mercedes not being picked yet. And first of all, that grid will look amazing. I mean, we're talking about the 30 best GT3 drivers in all of rFactor 2. And we see them all in completely different cars, on different tracks, dynamic weather, and all that. That will be amazing. Like, I can't wait for that season to kick off.
Going to be fantastic, and we've not got long to wait for it to come about. I think Yuri's in a different sort of scenario with all this. Obviously, you know, he's in it to win it, of course he is, but there is a side of Yuri that we all know that is about the dankest of memes, especially with his streams. That I think I think he is a lot more free to pick what he wants than whatever. Because if it goes badly, like, he's still getting a little bit of entertainment value streams wise and could just have a little bit of fun with it. I think he in recent times, obviously from being removed from R8G and stuff, I think he is starting to find again like the fun side of sim racing a little bit more. I don't know if anyone else is getting that vibe, but he seems to be enjoying it more in that sense, and I really like seeing that.
I mean, I just hope that his season starts differently than it ended.
Yeah.
We all remember what happened in Spa, where he nearly took out his entire team. And that's not that. I don't say that to blame him now, because it was a very tight race that was crazy with the rain kicking in and everything. It just went wrong, and very unluckily, he actually hit a teammate as well, which made it obviously a bigger meme than it already was. So I think he's still one of the best drivers when it's a car that can be driven aggressively, and I love his style on that. Like, the action he provided in the season was amazing. There was no team strategy and all that. He was fighting his own teammates. They went side by side for ages, basically, and him breaking late and really showing what aggressive driving means.
Quick picks.
Radical.
I'm going Aston.
Aston.
Okay.
You're a Castor. Here we go.
Please be the radical.
Porsche.
Wow.
He has been driving
Nice
a
one.
Porsche. He has been driving a Porsche a lot recently, hasn't he? That obviously elsewhere in sim racing.
I really
Peyo's
want
like,
to
I
see that
told
radical.
you so.
God.
But that now means for Player Path, if Yuri Kastov does well better, he can't say it's the car.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's got 10 kilos extra weight on it.
Yes, it's got 10 kilos.
Yeah,
No
that's a
radical.
really good. That is a really good deal. 10 kilos in a Porsche.
Yeah, it's light at this stage.
That gives the radical to Aniovsky, by the way.
I wonder if Yuri was getting to this point late and he was like, I'm taking the radical, and then just looking at this entire sheet of just massive amounts of cars and being like, oh no, a Porsche with 10 kilos.
And in fairness,
We'll go with
obviously, a lot of some people are saying like, it's going on a long time. It's like, in fairness, we're giving the drivers like this time to literally pick and do exactly what we're doing. We're talking through it, but they literally are betting their season on this choice. So we have to give them a little bit of time. We can't just rush through these things.
Especially late on. Like for the first few, right, you're already going to have your decision mostly made already. But for the last few, you need to look at this table. You need to think, what have I got? What have I got in front of me? What are my actual choices? Because whilst you have a long list there on the side, you already know ones that are already eliminated. Like, I don't want to take that because of this weight. I am not taking a BMW, for example, because I don't want that weight. So you need to have a bit of time, because like you say, it's a lot of money on the table with more prize money this season than before, and it's quite a time sink as well. So they need a little bit of just breathing room.
So are we deciding Audis, by the way, here?
On Audis?
2018, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think he's going to take an Audi, but the opposite to what Mitchie picked.
No, I'm going the same as Mitchie. 2018 Audi.
Since Lewis was talking about the upcoming season, and we got chat with us right now, and they doing their predictions and everything. During this season, you might remember from season 1 and 2 that there happened Fanatec wheels and pedals and all that for drivers. This time, it's actually for viewers. So that's another new feature in season 3, where you can win Fanatec gear on every single race we're doing in the Pro Series. So make sure to mark it in your calendar. The first race is actually already next week.
So did Erhan say, guys, I can't take any more wheels?
He doesn't have enough space, probably.
Erhan's selling them.
Yeah. Think that, these are like the 6 wheels that he's already won. It's just like, look, mate, I can't do anything with these. You have them back. Get rid of them. You can like have them signed. Maybe they're all signed by Aniovsky.
Yeah,
where they've come from.
That will be kind of cool.
There's the gear we were
Fetch
talking
a
about.
fortune.
Yeah,
on
exactly.
I told Fanatec actually, if Aniovsky already has an official license to become a reseller.
Yeah.
He obviously won a lot of them, So I can understand that. But no, this time it's for the viewers. I think that's a great new thing coming to the series. So make sure to watch GT Pro series and GT Challenge series and live with us through one of the most exciting series out there in sim racing. And you might get a few pieces, a few items, equipment here and there for your own sim racing career. Well, here's the next pick, Johnny Simoncic, Burst Esports. Everyone said Audi. Let's see what it is.
Oh, it's an Audi.
Yeah, no surprise.
That's the 2018 one as well.
Yeah.
Bam. Oh. Whew.
Yeah, not too surprising that one. Obviously, it was
No.
a car he drove throughout, so he's been fantastic in it. In fairness, so a 20 kilo hit, I think it is on that, if I'm not mistaken. So still a decent weight, but I think he'll be happy the fact that he's got it at 20 kilos.
Yeah, that's a good deal. Again, like, if you're getting to this stage and like you already know what car you are picking from the start, and then you get to it at the end and you've only got 20 kilos, when I would assume for most part at this stage, you know, you're talking the Yernes, the Erhans and that lot, you're talking of 40 kilos on your car, and you've accepted that at the start. Now you look at it, you think, oh, I'm 20 kilos better off than I thought I'd be.
Yeah, but Ferrari's still also on 20 kilograms.
I know.
Insane. That's crazy.
I'm wondering if someone... It's the only two drivers that are free to choose here is Hani Al-Sabti and Erhan Yovski, because we know that Kevin Siggy is taking that BMW. Now, are they going to go the same route that Risto Kappa did? I don't think so. I think they will go for something different, just to keep that weight down. I think one of them could very well be going for that Ferrari that we know is a race-winning car, at least in GT Challenge.
But Sapti and Yayovsky, they both have to pick Mercedes and Radical, basically.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
then we actually have a grid with every single car in there.
Absolutely.
That would be crazy.
Your wish is there, but I still don't see it happening, unfortunately.
Cool.
I think with possibly the Bentley at 20 kilos, the 2018, maybe we could have that out there. I think the 2018 Audi needs an extra tick, by the way, on it, because that's already been taken. The McLaren as well, the 650 at 20 kilos. I mean, you talked about the Ferrari. Can the McLaren? It's like when we're talking about these supercars, when you start adding such weights on them, they're all going to react differently.
We're getting a lot of Radical in chat, so
Yeah.
at least
Whoever
either
wants
Hani
to
or
be
Erhan has to do
favorite. Whoever wants to be fan favorite needs to pick
absolutely.
Radical.
That's like, you know, free exposure, because like you'll get, like, this is the thing saying before about how you know, that if you're in the lone Mercedes you get extra broadcast time. If you're in the lone this, you said that if you're in the Radical, right, regardless
You're
of everyone else,
guaranteed.
you're guaranteed broadcast time, because like, I mean, that's what everyone wants to see, right? We want to see a Radical being wrestled around. Come on.
It will be great. I mean, they're still Radical and Mercedes, both without a pick. But I think it's unlikely by now, because these are drivers that are obviously going for the championship, so it feels kind of unlikely to me. Kevin Siggy, BMW, that will be the first one to probably cry about his pick, and I can understand that, because all his teammates took the BMW already, so he gets all the kilograms thrown at him. I don't know. I think the McLaren would still be a solid pick, the 720S.
I'm going Ferrari. I'm going, Hani Al-Sabti's going for Ferrari. Why not? It's got a decent amount of weight still on it. You two?
I don't know. Actually. I'm thinking he might go with his teammate. I think he might stick the same as his teammate.
Could take the Merc.
There you go.
We could take an Aston.
Hello.
My God, we get it. Radical.
Well done. Wow.
Look at this.
Fantastic.
So does
Huge
that
respect. Huge respect.
Memes.
Unbelievable. I mean, I have to say, yeah, I got 2 own drivers in the championship, but Hani Al-Sabti will be my favorite one for season 3.
Absolutely.
Radical.
Good man. That is a brave call. That is a brave.
Love it. Just imagine with him going for the championship, being top 3. No one wanted to pick that car.
Well,
He wins
if
it now.
the BOP was to go that way, what a blinder. 0 kilos, Radical, and being a fan favourite for just being brave enough to take it.
Yeah.
Go
we
on.
now know what Erhan's got to do. The AMG is sat there.
Yeah.
He's the fat kid in the corner, just waiting to be picked. He's the one that nobody's gone with.
After all this talk of Erhan having to carry a metric ton around with him, he can have the car that's got no weight after all.
And Yayov's pick will also be another DLC pick, so that's the last chance to win DLC or rFactor 2 copy. So, yeah, put in the chat what do you think Oniowski will pick. We have Kevin Siggy first, and we don't want to take it away from him. He will pick BMW. Obviously, it's BMW team.
He could surprise us.
Yeah,
He's on the
it's even
phone with
team
Dom
logo.
right now.
Yeah, it's even the team logo. There's no other choice. But he was such an entertaining driver in season 2 because while everyone said there's absolutely no chance to win with anything else than the Corvette and the Callaway, he showed how quick he really is with a car that was basically far away from everyone else. So I would love to see if he would be able to pick something else. Love to see that because he's one of the guys I think that deserve a championship in GT Pro.
Absolutely. I felt sorry for him because he always would put in these fantastic qualifying times and then have to defend for the sprint and the main race for the entirety of the time. And I'm sad to say it may be the same again, even though with a 40-kilogram BMW added weight, that is monstrous.
He is going to be in for a long season. Obviously, the first season, I think he was runner-up in the first season in a McLaren, and obviously was runner-up last season in a BMW. This season in a BMW, he has got a hard task to be runner-up for the 3rd consecutive season, or even potentially go for a championship. Like I say, I think he's in for a long season. I think the focus for him will be on potentially even looking towards the future in the season afterwards, rather than focusing hard on this one. Which is hard. It's a hard call.
I'm so stunned, really, that we're currently looking at a grid with so many different cars, and I mean, there's still one open. Yeah, it's fine, but that will be a cool grid. But does that change what we will see in GT Challenge? Because we kind of know that Challenge likes to copy what's going on in Pro, but obviously they have their own qualifier. Last year it was Radical only, to make sure that everyone was on the same car. Will not be the case for this season.
Do you think they could get the red line makers to like slap BMW signs all the way down the side of, say, Mercedes or something? Oh, it's a BMW. Surprise!
Someone in chat said, remember BMW Sauber Ferrari. I mean...
It's like they run BMW engines in that car.
Yeah, was that a thing? Is that real? I mean, Aiden is the one with the Formula 1 story, so...
Yeah, come on.
It was Sauber BMW. They had BMW engines in that thing.
Yes, that was the...
Yeah.
But it wasn't a Ferrari, right? Really confused by that. There shouldn't have been a Ferrari. All right, so that was the 40-kilogram BMW pick that was unavoidable, basically. Someone in a Discord says 2010 season. True, BMW Sauber Ferrari.
Oh yeah. This is the thing, is it's all a long time ago, and
Aiden should have known this because he does the videos about it. Aiden,
Aiden, you're here for one reason, and that's old F1 knowledge, apparently. Either way, right? 2 minutes. Final driver, double GT Pro champion, Erhan Yovsky. What is he going for? Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be a Merc.
Oh, he's
put in your votes
saying he's picking it.
Yeah,
but I'm not too sure.
Put your votes in, chat, because there's still 2 DLCs to grab.
So okay, let's be realistic. Obviously, DLC is on the line as well. It's a big prize for you guys home. So there's a 10-kilo Aston. 30. But is he going to go for above 10 kilos? There's obviously the Radical. Hanny's already got it. They could be going with the same setups. I mean, 10 kilos on the Radical maybe out there. Obviously, he could go with the Bentley, the 2020. No, that's a 30 kilos. He's not going to go with that. I was thinking of his other teammate Risto. Yes, we know the AMG's out there. So he's looking at a 0, a 10, or a 20. I don't think he's going to go for a 30-kilo pick.
No.
The McLaren 650.
Could have a 650.
650, or even the Ferrari and such, because the Ferrari still the first pick's 20. I've seen the chat is all over the place.
Yeah,
absolutely no one knows. Or if he takes the Radical, it's a Radical with 10 kilos. So I'm not sure about that. I'm going Ferrari here.
I think Ferrari is a solid pick because it was so competitive also against the Callaway Corvettes, like kind of competitive. So I think it will be a solid choice for season 3.
Yeah, I'm going Ferrari.
Part of me wants it to be the Merc, so we've got the full field, but
so much of me wants it to be the Merc.
Yeah, it would be really cool. But I think
It's-
Radical is also still a possibility, just because Hani El-Sabti has it.
Same. It is not off the table.
Yeah, definitely not.
It's going to be the Radical, the 650, or the Ferrari, or the Boxmaster.
You know what? I'm just gonna.
Boxmaster.
Why not
Yeah,
throw it out
Boxmaster.
there? We're gonna say the AMG. It's gonna be the Mercedes because just to fill that field, and Rene's wet dream will come true.
I think if Erhan does pick the Mercedes, he needs to join this broadcast and do a dab straight on the middle of the stream as we end it. Here we go. Let's find out. Ooh.
Last pick of
Here
the
we-
first
here we
ever
go.
GT Pro Series draft for Nuyovsky champion season 1,
It's
season 2,
the
and
Radical.
Johnson Radical. There
That'll
we
do.
Just wants
go.
that TV time.
Who would have thought that we will end up with 2 Radicals in the GT Pro Series this season? I
And
wasn't
he
me, that's for
did
sure.
go for the Radical. What a legend.
Nice. That's a great duo also. Hani El-Sabti and Nuyovsky on a Radical. Got like going through the field like when they win a race and then start in 10th and 9th. Oh, that would be really cool to watch.
I have no idea of this group of drivers who is even going to compete for this championship, because with all the cars, unlike the seasons before where everyone's been in sort of like 1 or 2 cars, it's been fairly predictable to be like, oh, that probably is going to go for a championship, that might do. On this, no idea. If that BMW is any good, you've got drivers like Alan Terzic a little bit further down who may well contend. Obviously, if that Radical's any good, Erhan Nuyovsky is going to be up there, and probably even if it's not anyway. What a season we have to look forward to.
Well, I know the Mercedes esports job was up for grabs last year. I got a feeling they're going to be on the phone to Rene after this show saying, how is this possible? All of these cars and we didn't get picked. It does amaze me that actually there was a car left out there with 0 kilos. It does surprise me, but wow, what a field of cars. What a difference this is going to make. Obviously we had season 1, the year of McLaren. Season 2, the Callaways all over, and now it is a completely different series.
I'm really looking forward to that. I think we're such a might even be the biggest variety ever. I'm not that deep into the numbers now to look that up, but there are a lot of different GT3 cars in a series, especially in a pro series, as in they all race for this like as their main thing. So I'm super happy that we have that. I can't wait though to see the season opener. There's the bigger price pool. They're good races, huge variety in the grid, prices for viewers. I mean, what else do you want for Season 3 besides getting the Merkin for Season 4 to actually have every car in?
We need that. We need to find a way of getting Anne in the Merc next season, just saying. If we're going to have the same draft, though, next season, maybe if you have a struggle at the start of the season, this is where maybe you kind of think, all right, I'll aim for 20th. In the championship, not anywhere higher, because then you get an early pick. You get to pick what you want, low weight. There's going to be a lot of tactical games out there on the grid next season. It's going to be a thrill.
A lot of new liveries will need to be built for the series, that's for sure, and a lot of new setups as well. Forward's upcoming 12 different cars is what you guys out there can see next Monday for the very first race when we have the season opener of the rFactor 2 GT Pro Series powered by Traction at Imola that showed exciting racing in Season 1, wasn't around for Season 2. I love that it's actually back in once again, so I think that will be a great start. Obviously, I'll have our partners from VCO that will also do live coverage on Twitter for you guys. There will be clips and screenshots and everything. Fanatag, obviously, thanks for giving out the equipment then to our viewers. So, yeah, do you guys want to do any last predictions or things you want to say about the season? The guys don't know yet who's actually doing which commentary thing. That's another. I won't do that live on stream. That will be a fun draft.
I just want to see.
next.
I just want to see something different. I love the fact that it's shaken up the obviously lineup. Obviously, it was a little bit depressing with all the Callaways, and it was great to see Siggy waving the flag for BMW and doing so well and getting the runner-up spot. I'm really interested to see how the setups are going to be affected by all the weight changes. That every driver's going to have their own little different setup because everyone's in a unique car, be it the car they've chosen, the weight they've got with it, everything is going to be unique. It's brilliant.
I'm just to put added pressure because good mates and all that. I think there's going to be a championship fight between Alan Terzic and Jordi Sviers. Why not throw him in there? They've got to do it now. It's a legal requirement. Off you go.
It's time for first Porsche championship, so that gives it to
I
Path
see.
and
Gotcha.
who else took the Porsche?
Yuri.
Yuri. Ah, true. Yuri is actually a candidate that could take a championship on a Porsche.
He is the
that
kind of
that
guy,
would
yeah.
be looking good. Maybe that's his new team. We totally forgot about that one.
Yeah, we need to find out where he's going next.
Yeah, that
very
could
good
be a
point.
manufacturer thing, like the BMW teams.
Are you saying Butler
Power?
Powell's not pulling the checkbook out? What's going on?
I doubt that Yuri Castor would actually join us. Yuri, if you hear that, and you want to join us, feel free. Message me.
He's put the eyes emoji into the Twitch chat, so his attention has been gotten.
Yeah.
Maybe we should also do a new driver draft. Every driver that is without a team and split 1, 2, and 3 of challenge will automatically get into the free agent draft and can be picked up. Yeah, we get all kind of new elements for the series, but we're at the end of our evening for today. Obviously, there will be no racing because that was the draft, and now the guys have to get their cars ready and deliveries and setups and everything. First of all, Lewis, Aiden, Lee, thanks for joining. I hope you enjoyed the very first draft, and I'm pretty sure that we'll have tons of exciting ideas for Season 4 draft, right?
Yeah, it's great stuff. Hopefully the season will follow up from how exciting and unpredictable those predictions were.
Yeah, that was a really interesting evening to see how jumbled up the grid would get. So, see what these drivers can do at the first round at Imola.
Just a week away. Let's get it on.
All right, thanks everyone for watching. This was the GT Pro Series draft, powered by Traction. I'll see you guys next Monday for the very first race in Imola. Goodbye.